Let's talk about the Baylor Bears a little bit, please, because
Scott Drew.
we have to give props. I don't think I've ridiculed Scott Drew. I've just pointed out facts. We're at hashtag Just Facts podcast. Always have been. Won't apologize for it.
Yep.
We don't talk about our feelings. We talk about facts, and the facts were Scott Drew has never won a major conference championship ever in tournament. In regular season, he's never been to a Final Four, and I just like pointing that out because it's just an interesting stat.
God,
that stat is no more. That stat is dead. It's done. Scott Drew's a good coach. Stamp it.
Scott Drew won the 2013 NIT, and we all forgot. People forget that he did that, and we did not give him the credit for doing that.
To your credit, every time I say he's never won a trophy, you're like, now hang on.
I do want to keep bringing it up, and it was nice because this game in West Virginia, we talked about last week, that's a team.
They're very good.
Very good. And
very good.
Final Four team, in my opinion. Yeah. I am all eyes on West Virginia.
They could win it. They could win.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think.
I mean, of course.
They gave Gonzaga Gonzaga's best game. They gave Baylor.
They lost by 5, right?
They lost by 5. Yeah, it was the Suggs game. Suggs tore his Achilles and then taped it back together.
So, yeah, I mean, pretty ridiculous when you think about the fact that this Baylor team on the road at West Virginia, a title contending team,
yep.
You know, they're getting pushed to the brink. This was, you talk about execution at the end of a game. It was beautiful. I mean,
it was great.
It was great awesome for the Big 12. And then later on in the day, I would watch, you know, ACC, Georgia Tech versus Duke, which is basically the opposite execution of this. But regardless, I just want to say, just from Baylor's standpoint, the fact that Jared Butler,
look at it, look at Scott, look how happy they are. It's so cool,
and you could feel it, like the hurdle that they got over, and the fact that this team got to celebrate something. Right, they've won so much, but like we've joked about, they haven't been able to celebrate anything.
Yep.
You know, other than like one win, and now we got to go to the next game.
Yep.
And now they finally got to do that. Scott Drew got to do that. And Scott Drew, randomly enough, my parents, 2010, in Puerto Vallarta for their anniversary, had dinner with Scott Drew and his wife. They did not.
What?
Yeah, my mom and dad met Scott Drew and his wife.
I knew that you met him. Yeah,
at the pool, and then ended up having dinner with him that night.
I didn't know that part of it.
My mom told him all about Duke cheating him in the 2010 Elite Eight. And regardless, Scott Drew, my parents love Scott Drew to this day.
Yeah.
And when he won, my mom was like, please shout out Scott Drew and say what a great guy he is. So shout out to Scott Drew.
Great guy.
Great
guy. But not a good guy.
Not a good guy
anymore. He's a great guy. He's a winner.
Yes.
Scott Drew is a winner. Kevin Keats, move over. Scott Drew has a trophy case. That big trophy case he built in his house, he can finally put something next to that NIT championship.
Man,
he did it. So Baylor's back though, man. They look good tonight too against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State was pretty hot.
I feel it like a little bit where there could be a world in which we get to the Final Four in Indy, and I would not be shocked. And this might, I mean, maybe I'm probably going to regret this saying this, but like if it was Gonzaga, Baylor, Illinois, Michigan in the Final Four, I would not be shocked.
I would love that.
I mean,
even as an Ohio State fan,
this year. Yeah.
I want Ohio State to win, obviously, but like, listen, I want great basketball. And that's like objectively, that would be amazing.
Just the fact that you said it, right? We started this year with a preconceived notion of Gonzaga, Garza, those have been checked.
Yeah.
Boxes have been checked. The fact that we get to a Final Four where the top teams are there, that would be nice.
I don't want to put an asterisk on this, so I apologize to Baylor fans if it comes across as that. I'm not doing that to Scott Drew. I just want to have a bigger picture conversation about regular season conference titles.
Yes, this year specifically.
Yeah, because like we've talked about this on the show around this time of year, the last couple of years, just how they're sort of being devalued because there's obviously March Madness has become as big as it is. It like seems to get bigger every year where that is the focal point. You talk to people about like whether a coach is good or bad. You always point to, I mean, Tom Crean got fired at Indiana. He won Big Ten titles. No one cared. We don't care about Big Ten titles. You lost in the Sweet 16 to Syracuse, Tom. Get the hell out of here. Like that was, March becomes the measuring stick where when I was growing up, certainly, and I've made this point a million times, so I apologize for repeating myself, but like the Big Ten title was a massive deal. Like if you won the Big Ten, that's cachet. That matters. And it still matters to the players, obviously. We saw Baylor's players losing their minds. We saw Michigan tonight losing their minds. But as a fan, Tate, I feel like we were already headed towards, with conference realignment, with imbalanced schedules, when you have conferences with 38 teams that are, you only play half the teams once. I feel like fans were kind of shrugging their shoulders at regular season titles. For God's sakes, your conference, the ACC, doesn't even like technically count the regular, like the tournament's so important that's the only thing that technically quote unquote counts.
That's Duke propaganda, but yes.
But then at the same time, you flip around, you hand a trophy for the tournament to a team that didn't even play a single second last year. So explain that to me. But
Coach Ham.
So I guess my fear is that COVID, given that the circumstances of everything this year and all the imbalanced schedules and how weird it is, because I have a Pac-12 update for you that's going to break your brain with the Pac-12 race. I'm worried that like this is kind of like the end for because this whole season has been about like let's just play an NCAA tournament. That's all we care about. And now like we're using algorithms trying to figure out who won regular season conferences. And I'm just worried that like moving forward, people are gonna be like, who cares? And like that, and put an asterisk on Baylor, put an asterisk on Michigan, and Michigan played fewer games than Illinois, and Illinois beat the hell out of Michigan. Like if you're an Illinois fan, you're like, I kind of feel like we should maybe be champions. I don't know.
It used to be, I felt like a college basketball conversation used to be a regional conversation, right? So there was these large conversations that were happening in different pockets, and then the tournament would come, even back to when the NIT mattered. It would be like the NIT and the NCAAs, you would get invited, and then the national conversation comes, then you can see like, but we've already been having this conversation over here the whole time, and I guess it does happen at a smaller level, maybe than it did in the past, but those arguments about like, well, Wake Forest won this many ACC, regular seasons, and Virginia Tech hasn't ever won in the ACC regular season. All these types of things have seen they've gone from the forefront of conversation because we're all trying to have the national conversation.
Right.
We're all trying to have the national championship conversation. Right. We're all trying to have the Final Four conversation because we all think we're blue bloods. Right. We all think that we're supposed to be there because there's this misconception that it's an equal playing field.
Right. And
it's really not. I mean, we know that there's like 12 teams that probably have a real shot at this just based on everything that's going on. That's why when Butler happened the first time, it was unbelievable.
It was like shocking. It was like, oh my God, they were 6 inches away from.
They could have done it, and they weren't one of those 12 teams, and that's amazing. And in general, what I'm saying is that college basketball, we judge everything now by March. We judge everything by the final tally of the tournament. Yeah. And that is why Mark Few, we're still saying we can't coordinate him. Yeah. We can't coordinate James Harden in the NBA. Yeah, because he hasn't done it in the playoff. That's the world we live in, right?
I guess I didn't think about this till you were making your point that part of the reason it was probably a bigger deal back in the days because you had to win. You had to be your conference champion to be in the NCAA tournament. So it was like, we won. We got to go play in the NCAA tournament now. But
I was thinking of the Big East in 1981. I'm pretty sure, and fact check me, someone. I'm pretty sure that Syracuse beat Villanova in the championship game in the Big East tournament. And then Villanova got invited to the NCAAs, and Syracuse didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's scandalous.
Hey there. Thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.